tell us in short how Finqware was born and what made you choose this particular business idea?
So Finqware was born because I had this experience of mine in banking. I started in banking as an entrepreneur. And back then in 2005, when I started my first business endeavor as an entrepreneur, I was having not a hyper startup like this. It was a bank branch for ING Bank as a franchise, which I owned, and I started from scratch. And from that point in 2005, I understood that the banking and the financial ecosystem as a whole should have a bigger impact from the technology point of view. This idea, this epiphany made me follow it, although then I worked in different banks, in different banking companies. And in 2017, when I found out about open banking, then I said, okay, this is it. This is the real trend that will change from scratch the entire ecosystem of interactions between banks and their customers. In 2017, it was my when I had this moment, and then in 2018, I started to incorporate, to find two co-founders to complement myself, and then to incorporate in February 2018 Finqware as a company that wants to lead the way in putting open banking at work. That's the beginning of the whole story.
Do you remember when you first heard about startups in Romania, and what attracted you to the idea of being a startup founder eventually?
So 2017, it was the first the moment in which I started thinking about startups. Yeah, and then I don't remember to have this kind of dreams be previous to that. But what I did, I document myself by watching movies and reading books. And one of the two movies that made me understand very well this ecosystem of hyper growth startups and so on. The first one is a documentary which is called Something Ventured. It's a documentary made by the guys from Silicon Valley about the start of venture capital industry in the United States. And I recommend this to whomever wants to be a part of this ecosystem, either a venture capitalist or a startup founder. And the second movie, let's say, it was the Silicon Valley series on the HBO, which made my life very, and that series, it's quite important to see, because you'll find out there some problems that the startup really has, but just in a very, let's say, joking way of putting things, like the impact of how to value the company when it is not good to overvalue your company, when it is good, how to negotiate with the VCs and so on. Everything, a lot of the things that then I used in my venture and the endeavor as a startup founder, then it was from that series. Everybody knew about the first Romanian entrepreneurs in tech, like Radu Georgescu, yeah, which sold the company to Microsoft. Yeah, that is the, let's say, the founding myth of the Romanian startup ecosystem. Yeah, Radu Georgescu selling the company to Microsoft, and then Mr. Talpeș not selling the company and keep it for himself, so that he can create a big company then. And then there was this Vector Watch story, which from outside seemed to be a success. Now, with the mind of me now, I know that it wasn't quite a very big success. It was a way of having a solution to a challenged situation, to that vector watch. Yeah, that's the entire things that I remember from the beginning, from the start.
The first time you started building Finqware, did you have, let's say, a plan B or another plan in case this failed?
There's no plan B. The plan B is there's no plan B for me, and I will tell you why. Because I know I have the capacity to build a plan B if needed. So there's not a plan B. If you always keep a plan B under your desk, then you won't focus to believe in your happy end of your company. But I know that I've been in a lot of business situation in which I won't be a homeless if something happens, and I really believe that any failure is a learning situation. So no plan B, no clear plan B, but the capacity to have a plan B is not an issue with all the things that I learned through the Finqware endeavor.
What did you find most, let's say, most challenging or difficult when building Finqware?
Nobody can tell you the whole list. So there are doing tech startup in Central and Eastern Europe. It's merely unhuman in terms of the tenacity that you need to keep. The so-called roller coaster life of the psychological roller coaster in the life of a founder is much bigger in this region, because the whole ecosystem is not prepared right now, doesn't have the clear paths to build successes, and you as a founder want to build success, but there's nobody else doing successes. We only had some small snowdrops, and I can tell you there are like I've told you, Jacquard, like Vector Watch, like UiPath, and pretty much that's it. I don't know, there are some others. It might be, but not that well known. So in order to create an ecosystem, you need to have this kind of success stories, because they are kind of the stories that can empower the founders to remain focused with all the roller coaster in their psychological life.
Can you tell us what was most challenging when raising money?
It was extremely challenging to raise money, and it is extremely challenging to raise money. I don't know how to get into these kind of specificities of the hard things that a founder needs to overcome. Finqware started in 2018 at the beginning. Yeah, the first pitch of Finqware was done in the first pitch day, demo day of Gapminder VC, which was the first VC that launched in real VC backed by AIF, launched in Romania. And that VC backed by AIF wasn't an idea that started from the market. It was an idea, an initiative coming from European Investment Fund. We, Finqware, were winners of the first pitch day of Gapminder. We got an offer at that point. We decided not to take that offer, that investment offer at that point. It was April 2018. I remember and I remember rejecting the offer of Gapminder VC at that point.
Why?
It's hard for me to tell you the entire details, but at that point, the offers that the VC made, the initial offer of the VCs were not that fitted for the companies to be. It was, even the VCs are in a learning mode. Even the VCs don't have these success stories to build their experience upon that success stories. And the initial offer of Gapminder VC wasn't the one that we envisioned to be the first investment in Finqware. And we decided to reject it and put from our own money double the sum that Gapminder wanted to invest. But it was very good for us because it was the first validation of our business. So the fact that we were offered by Gapminder, it was the first validation of our business. And Gapminder had an important, and I want to say it, I don't know how you cut this, but Gapminder has an important role in building the startup ecosystem in Romania. Later on, one year later, 2019, we took the first investment from Gapminder VC in other conditions than the initial proposed. We were also in other stage, a little bit, not that much, but a little bit more than that much. And then we started to find raising money outside Romania. This was from the beginning my point. And this is something that I want to somehow to message to all the founders. Don't think of playing in the playground of your high school. Go and play at the Champions League. Go and play at the global stage. Go and take money from the external VCs. Go and search for markets outside, because it's easy here, but if you can do things outside, it's even better. Finqware connected the first banking market, not the Romanian one, but the Croatian one. Why? Because we went to accelerators, and one of the accelerators proposed us to make a POC, not in Romania, but in Croatia. It was OTP startup program. And this is something that we started at that point to find money outside Romania, and all the bozos in the world were saying to us, it's very hard, take money only from here and then you'll see. All the bozos in the world are saying to us, the international venture capitalists won't invest in a Romanian headquartered and incorporated company, and they did. Raiffeisen Bank International, through Elevator Ventures, invested directly in the Finqware SRL Romanian incorporated entity, and put $500,000 when we were pretty much a PowerPoint and some MVP. So this is something that I believe Guy Kawasaki is saying in his speeches. Don't listen to the bozos. And there was a saying that was connected to Elon Musk, don't listen the little man. This is something that in order to succeed in a market like the Eastern European, the Romanian market, you need to take this as rules. Don't listen to the ones that want to discourage you, either because they think little or they just want to be jackass with you and keep you not succeed in your way. And be a contrarian. Then it was that issue. Everybody was saying, Cosmin, is very hard for a company to take a payment institution license in Romania. Why don't you go in Estonia or in Lithuania to take a payment institution license? We evaluated this, but decided to stay in Romania, and against all the odds, and against all the guys that are saying that it is very hard in Romania. Only the two big companies succeeded, like Vodafone and Orange, succeeded to have this kind of license. We stayed here, and after a process that started more than 2 years before it succeeded, we got our payment institution license, and we went then and passported this license in 30 European countries. So right now, if somebody says to me it is not possible, I have a track record to argue against him.
You've anticipated my next question. I was going to ask you if you built from the start Finqware with the purpose of being an international company.
Yes,
going outside Romania.
From the start, yeah. There's no way in which Finqware is a small Romanian company. There's no way. So there's no plan in which Finqware stays in Romania. Finqware is a European company headquartered in Romania. That's it.
What opportunities did you see at first when starting Finqware, and what opportunities are you seeing now for development?
So everybody, when you start up, everybody will say, you'll see, you'll pivot, you'll move the things. And this was true also for our company. We started as a consumer application. We wanted to do a consumer mobile application to make the life of people a better place, the financial life of people more simpler, more smooth. And then we were pointed out by a partner, a banking partner, that there is a business even bigger near, but the other street go to corporate companies. And we started from a point, we got to another point. In a nutshell, we remained always in the same place. But the segments, the way in which we envision the product, the way in which we envision the partnerships, everything changed and is still changing. So you start to get more and more, let's say, solid ground with the product. You start to get product market fit, but at some point you understand that you need to change things, and you change. Yeah, that's it.
How did you see the Romanian startup ecosystem when starting Finqware, and how did you see it evolve during all these years?
I want to thank right now, if possible, publicly, to Malin Ștefănescu, because it was one of the first pitches that I got in Romania in 2018 in front of the tech angel startups, and staying around and speaking with him, telling him, I was telling him, it was the first time that we met, me and Malin at that point, and I really remember that interaction with him. He was telling to me, Cosmin, look, UiPath was around here and was trying to get money around, but nobody believed him. But the founder of UiPath, and in the end, nobody put money. No Romanian money were in UiPath. But there is a thing that you need to understand, that the Romanian startups usually they are thinking with the mindset to overcome failure, than with the mindset to cope with the success. So because him as a business angel said, I see teams that are not prepared for success. They are preparing how to overcome if nothing goes well. Yeah, but you need also to have this culture in your company to prepare your company for success. This was one of the most important learning points that I got from this guy. I love him, Malin Ștefănescu. From time to time I'm calling him to give me some advice. Is one of the most important and interesting advisors for startups from Romania, and I'm happy that he has a high profile in our ecosystem. At that point, I remember that pitch, in the tech angels environment, and I said to them, guys, UiPath didn't get money from Romania. What if you have here, and there were, I don't know, 10 companies pitching, what if here, tonight, one of the 10 companies will be the next UiPath? How would you recognize it? Are you able to recognize it? And the fact is that my inner answer is that the business angels at that point didn't have the capability to recognize the next UiPath. And I don't know right now if they have it, but this is something that should change in time.
You mentioned tech angels, and my next question was going to be also about opportunities, but in terms of funding. Did you sense that you had enough opportunities to get funded in Romania at that point, and how did this evolve during these years?
There are money in Romania. For me, taking money from Romania was the plan B, let's say. I always started to engage with external investor. But the real truth is that it's very hard to get money from outside if you are not backed by somebody from here. Because the external money don't take the risk without somebody else to join that risk from the local environment, which is more the investment entities from here are more in depth with what can happen in the Romanian marketplace. Going back, the opportunities, there are right now opportunities for startups to get the money. Unfortunately, the tickets are too small. That is okay. This changed a little bit from the initial offer that we got as a early seed, but still, when I look at the tickets that are right now raised in Romania, and if you think of starting a coffee shop, you are still in that range. So you won't start a big company with 200K. A La Marzocco machine, I believe, is 40K, La Marzocco espresso machine. So it's like, even for a coffee shop, you need more money. So there are money in the market, but they are still very tight in going for the high risk, high return opportunities. And this is bad because this is everything about the culture in the ecosystem. The fear of failure. It is to the founders, but even more to the investors. And the fear of failure, it's something that should be better managed by the investors, because you cannot create big successes if you don't allow yourself to have some very, very bad bets in the end.
And speaking about this, what should Romanian investors, in your opinion, as a founder, do more when working with startups and when working with startup founders?
First of all, they need to understand that what they are offering is just a tool for the startups. At Finqware, I'm not in the business of raising money. I'm in the business of building the new SaaS category called Treasury Management Automation. So their tool is similar with the guys that provides me computers for my people. It's similar with the guys that provides me, courier services in the end. I don't want to, underestimate the importance of capital, but it's just a tool. So they need to understand that their tool is not like their capital is not making returns in itself. It needs to have a lot of other things, and the most important thing that the capital in the tech startup needs to have is human energy, which is catalyzed by the founders. And if you are treating the founders like the guys that are owing you a lot of money just because you put some money in their venture and you want to take 20x revenues after it, then you have a bad attitude which cannot produce that 20x revenues. I remember, I don't know, Andreessen, the guy from Silicon Valley, saying that he was penalizing his associates when they were late to a meeting to a founder, startup founder, because these guys, these startup founders that are sacrificing their families, they are sacrificing their nights in order to build ventures that can bring value to the society. These are the guys that are not like some debtors to a VC fund. They are the guys that can bring the success to that VC fund. And the VC capitalists, which are some providers, service providers for the startup founders, should understand their position and should do whatever it takes in order to create the success of the startup.
What's good and what's not so good? What's bad about the Romanian startup founders? You've mentioned that they were not ready to embrace success.
They are not, like Molin said, and this is something that I also see. They are not focused on coping with the success, but more of more fear have for the failures. And there is this saying of Frank Herbert from Dune: fear is the mind killer. If you fear, the fear will stop you and do the exact things that you need to do in order to have success. So this fear of failure instead of preparing for success, I think it's important. The second one is like I said, and I'm pretty much straightforward, the maturity of the venture capitalists in their attitude regarding to the service they provide to the startups. It's a financial service that should be provided, but it is important that financial service to be provided in a way in which it supports the founder and its endeavor, which is something that most of the venture capital won't even imagine. Because the point is, in Romania, we don't have that many venture capitalists which are really serial entrepreneurs, so that they had the opportunity to spend days in the moccasins of a startup founder. And third, it's the attitude of conquering the world that we don't see in Romania. When we were little, we were taught at the history lessons that Romania is a beautiful people, it's a beautiful country because nobody disturbed anybody around. Which, first of all, it's not true. And secondly, this creates a mindset in the mind of the entrepreneurs, like, let's be king in our village and then we'll see. While guys like Israeli guys, Polish guys, and so on are starting to go abroad first. Let's connect Croatian banks first, and then we'll learn how to connect the Romanian banks. Let's go to find money in Austria first, and then we'll see if we don't get money from Austria, we take somebody from our village. And this idea of wandering around, going to the events, it's not the local events that are important. It's the outside events that are important, because you need to build your attitude of being equal with whomever founder is in UK or in France or in Italy. Yeah, and this is something that should be modeled in Romania. We are at the beginning of this ecosystem. We have a lot of things to do. I have a commitment in hope that God help me to be part of this ecosystem for a long time, not only as a founder, but also in some other roles in the ecosystem, and I am preparing for this.
And speaking about the ecosystem, how do you envision its evolution during the next, let's say, 5 years? Also in an European and regional and European context, where do you think we're heading?
Romania started to be hot right now. Hot in a sense that there is, in the last 2-3 years, there is some focus, some spotlight on the Romanian ecosystem, but not only as a whole, but also some niches, some spaces like health tech, like fintech, like deep tech. There are a lot of right now VCs from the deep tech side looking into the Romanian ecosystem. So I believe we can provide results into these niches. I believe, from my point of view, I'm also the founder and president, one of the founders and president of the Romanian Fintech Association. We have important events regionally, like Unchained Fintech Festival happening here. We lead the conversation in fintech in a way, with all the VCs and startups coming, and there is a kind of an Oscar trophy for fintech that it is given here in Romania, in Oradea. So I believe that we can provide results. We need to have the tenacity also as an ecosystem to keep our our struggles, so that we do what we envision to do, to leapfrog and to be an important space for innovation in Europe, at least.
How do you see the evolution, and what are your plans with Finqware for this year, by the end of 2023, and next year also?
So from a personal point of view, Finqware is a project that I have it as also as it should show to my kids that you can do things if you envision them and imagine, and you get tenacity. So my little kids, my son of 8 and the daughter of 14, I want them to be modeled that they can do a big project from the beginning, from scratch, from nothing. But also this is something that we want also to model. I don't know, it's a little bit arrogant to say it, but we want also to model in the fintech ecosystem. We want Finqware to be a big player in the bigger fintech markets, so that some other fintechs will follow the path and will grow the ecosystem locally. So my point is to make a successful company, at some point to make a successful exit, and with the money that I'm getting from that successful exit, to come back to the ecosystem and to invest as a VC or as a business angel in the new innovation waves of Romania.
Do you see yourself, I don't know, in 10, 20 years as still being a startup founder, or, like you said, being an investor?
Most probably I will still have some business endeavors, but also I would like to contribute, if my success will be enough, to contribute back and to invest in some other talents, because I really believe there is a pool of talents here around, and they need investments, and they need somebody to trust in them, somebody to support them. And it is in my career path the next, I'm making it public here. It is my next plan to get back as an investor.
When starting your own business, do you consider it to be, was it easier or more difficult, the fact that you've started from Romania?
The answer is very simple. It is much more difficult than because we start from Romania and not from a Western European country. Much more. So it's like there was a guy, I believe he was from Switzerland, we met an investor, one board member in European Business Angels Network Association, who told me directly, Cosmin, what you and your team is doing, if you've been from Germany, you would raise 20 million euro like this. While I'm sorry you are from Romania, it's like not me, but the whole ecosystem don't see you. And this is something that we all in the ecosystem should change. Yeah. And we all need to do things. For example, I have right now investors that are saying no to our company. They don't want to invest. Yeah. Also, might be some arrogancy here, but I want to be as many possible that are saying no to our company, because I want them to regret at some point. This is my job as a CEO and as a co-founder of this company, to make all the guys that didn't invest it in the early stages of the company deeply regret they didn't.
And my last question, taking into consideration your path and what happened during these years since you started building Finqware, and seeing what's happening with the other founders and with the VC ecosystem, what title would you give to a documentary about Romanian startups and Romanian startup founders?
You know, it should be optimistic, yeah, this title. And I would put a name somehow related to the leapfrogging potential of the local ecosystem. I don't know. Leaping, I don't know. It should be something with leapfrog, yeah? Something with leapfrog, leapfrogging Romania or something, you know? Leapfrogging Romanian innovation, yeah? Kind of this would be, because it is the message that should be done right now, that this ecosystem collaborates more and more. It has more and more, let's say, more fertile collaboration between the ecosystem players, and I believe we really have a clear opportunity to leapfrog and to be like a Silicon Valley of the region.